Good evening, world. Stay strong in Jesus. So I was sitting here tonight, contemplating how do I explain to somebody what Jesus did for me? And I know I've told this story before on here, but outwardly, I was looking okay. I'd gained a lot of weight. I was in pain, so much pain all the time. And I had a wife, kids, a house. I was making it. But inside, I was still so broken from the war. And I had fallen just doing something stupid. I tried to make myself feel better by haphazardly getting into believing in God. And I had done something stupid, and I fell and I split my head open and across my eye and everything like that. I broken a couple bones in my leg and my foot. And by all accounts, I should have broke my neck. And I'm in the hospital with my wife, and it's packed. The hospital's packed. This is shortly after COVID. And we're just packed in this hallway, and they had me hooked up. I had a neck brace, everything like that. I had pictures on my community page. If any was one of my first posts, I probably put it on there. And if you want to see what my face and neck looked like. But while I was in there, they had me hooked up to a heart monitor and everything like that, and I was in a lot of pain. And I don't react very well to narcotics, and meaning well that they don't affect me like most people, and they hadn't given me any yet. And the pain was one of the last things I kept thinking about, because the heart monitor they had hooked me up to kept flatlining. And I just see people walking by not paying attention to me, and I see people hurt and moaning and groaning, and my wife is sitting there, and I'm just worried that she's going to go into a seizure again, because she's so worried about me, because I lost quite a bit of blood too. And anyways, the flatlining, I had a PTSD episode, and I hate calling it that, but it's the easiest way to let somebody know that doesn't have what I have. Just a messed up life. Not just because of the war. And I was at the point where it didn't matter. I was like, I'm going to work myself into the grave. And I was not in a good spot head-wise, even though I was getting healthier inside. Like outside, I was getting healthier, and I went to this place, and I was right back in a medic ward after a bombing that we had happened when I was in Iraq the second time, and I got lost there, and I didn't see anything but death. And I just wanted it to be over. Sorry. And Jesus, this bright light came over me, and Jesus came down, and I felt this hand on my shoulder and this warm, embracing, like, bubble of love. And he said, "You can come home now." and that war can no longer hurt you. And then I came out of it, and my wife was freaking out, and then I was fine, and I was happy. But I didn't fully click about what had happened. But what I saw was all my sins. How bad I looked in his eyes. And he said, I love you, come home. And whether I still sin to this day, I know I'm forgiven because I don't want to. I don't want to hate. I don't want to do all of those things anymore. I don't want to have to defend myself by hurting somebody. This war that is going on right now between heaven and hell is a war that's been going on since the dawn of time, since Adam and Eve. And I saw how I must have looked if I was looking at myself from a holier than thou spot. I looked at myself and I was like, wow, I'm a terrible, terrible person, a father, a husband, all these things. And he said, you're forgiven. And then I spent the next couple weeks, months trying to find him. And understand why he chose me. Not because of anything I did, not because of anything I didn't do. It's because he loved me and he saw that I was good, because he knew my father, because my father is his father. And then I asked for the Bible. I didn't. Everybody tells you this Bible, that Bible, this Bible, this version of Christianity. Jesus isn't a church. Jesus is. His name is this world's church. We have nothing to do with anything without him. We cannot save anybody. We can't even save ourselves without him. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't show that we're weak. It shows that we're humble. I remember in the end of John, the one thing that I don't remember from the other Gospels is that he said, I give you this commandment, to love all like I have loved you. And then as I'm reading the Bible, I understand. I read it from, I'm at Acts right now, but I read it from I'm trying to read it from cover to cover. And then when I'm done, I'll go back to the stuff, because I highlight everything. But I asked for the Bible, and the Bible came to me multiple times, and it's always the same version, the King James Version. So that's the one I read. I have it downloaded on my phone, and I turn on the read version, so I read it chapter by chapter, verse by verse, word by word, while somebody's reading it, and I usually like to speak the words along with the person that's reading it. And then I try to do what I'm trying to say is I didn't understand why until I read his word. I wasn't born in a religious household. I know I was baptized. I know that I knew who Jesus was from an early age because of my mother. I also knew my father left when I was super young too, and I had no idea why, and never came back. So, and then 20 years in the military and all that, I never called him, and I cursed his name sometimes because I cursed God. And I knew that all things bad and good in my life, I usually prayed to God for the good times, and I cursed God for the bad times. Even though a lot of the bad times were of my own doing, or my own sins. Jesus was who I should have known first. We will always, as humans, fail at something. We will never live up to the perfect father, mother, daughter, brother, sister, grandfather. We will never live up to Jesus. But if we know him sooner, we can walk in his ways. And that is the strength that lasts through generations. So that's who Jesus is to me. He helped me come home. And I know that I don't have it half as bad as a lot of guys out there that are killing themselves daily because they're lost in a war that we should have never been in. And all we did was put our head down and just work harder. And then somebody said we had too many people, so we had to work even harder. When the world makes these crazy decisions without understanding what it is to have served in the military, it's hard to understand what policies back here in the States affect us. The ones that think they're doing something good. And believe me, when we were over there, we always tried to leave the place better than we got it. That's what the Seabees did. We built schools over there. We trained the local population for years. We were there fighting a war in hopes that somebody would find democracy, not find Jesus. For the greed of a government that we promised to uphold and defend. Stay strong in Jesus is how it allows you to stand up righteous even when you're facing death. Because you know that you have an eternity with him. If you just stay the course. Stay strong in him. Sorry this went on so long. Jesus is everything to me, and I want to give it to everybody. that I see. And I hope a lot more hear what I'm saying about Jesus and not worrying about this old, broke down CB nobody who will never be written in any history books whatsoever. Stay strong in Jesus. He loves you yesterday, today, and for all of eternity. I pray you find him. Good night.